Gray cloudy day. It's gonna be a great, great, great cloudy day.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Great cloudy day. I am Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment. And if you can do me a favor, please hit the like button. Doesn't cost anything. And if you haven't subscribed and you've watched a few videos and you like them and you get something out of them, consider subscribing. And also, if you are like on Facebook, X, Gab, anywhere else, well, you can't share the videos on Instagram, but wherever you're at, if you're getting something out of this and you think it'll help, just share it, please. Thanks. I'm trying to make this a short video if I can. I've got a lot. I'm thinking I'm getting paid today, and if so, my check will hit about 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's like 9:30 here. I haven't even walked Ladybird yet. I've gotten up, made some coffee. I've done a little reading from Conscious Union with God, and then, I rode one and smoked it. Well, about a quarter of it. Anyway, not that that matters. You can say that I got a buzz, but I'm not like completely wasted or anything. So anyway, this is the point. This is going to be a 50 things that really matter. And I read this right before, I think I try to read it because I haven't read that book. So what I'm doing is I'm reading what I'm going to read into the camera to myself, and then I record kind of like I was doing with Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, but I had read Don't Sweat the Small Stuff years ago. So here we go. We're on number 3, and it don't have a picture or anything like yesterday's over here. So this one's called Memories. Let's get going. It kind of made me, it warmed my heart. Number 3, Memories. We recently moved to a small town dotted with cemeteries dating back to well before the Civil War. Wandering through them on early morning and late evening walks with my dog, I often stopped to read the carefully carved, worn stones. The dates from birth to death reveal so much. There are parents and grandparents. There are soldiers and their widows, and children, infants even. I like to say their names aloud, in some small way confirming that these people really did exist. That even though they left this world long ago, they're still a precious part of some family's memories. See where this is going? It struck a nerve because a lot's been going on this week for me. Overwhelming thoughts and memories and emotions and all that, but it's good stuff. Let's get back to it. My grandma died almost 35 years ago, and I have not been back to her grave since we buried her. Yet my memories of her are clear. I still have split seconds of wanting to call her, maybe to tell her about the new dress I just bought or the good-looking guy I saw at the grocery store. She always wanted to know the latest piece of news, no matter how trivial. My mother says that those momentary thoughts keep Grandma in my heart. Maybe, but just as important to me now is the thought that perhaps another woman is walking with her dog through the cemetery where my grandma is buried. If so, I hope she will brush off the headstone to read the dates and to say my grandmother's name aloud, doing her part to keep Grandma's memory alive. That part about still wanting to call, I don't, obviously, but I remember shortly after, the first year after Mom was murdered, I remember, after I was finally pretty much cleared of, we'll talk about that when I do that video I was talking about details, because, it wasn't very pleasant to find out that they were looking. Well, but that's just how investigations go, especially with that kind of stuff. They're going to look at family members first. Anyway, let's go. I remember getting with my friend Lincoln Archibald after a while of not seeing him, and he had been in Europe during the time when Mom died, and I remember when I first hooked up with him that day, and him telling me how, because this was so recent, the old phone number had not been given to nobody or nothing, so he said sometimes he found himself calling our old phone number and hoping that, like when he first got back from Europe and found out, he said he called the number numerous times hoping that Mom was going to pick up and it was some kind of joke or some kind of dream, or that it was not real. It was something to that extent. I might be forgetting some of the details of how he explained it, but if he sees this video, I mean, we're friends on Instagram. I don't know if he's ever actually came over to the channel and subscribed, but I'm going to assume that from time to time he has seen some of the videos. But me and him are just recently back in touch with each other over the phone too, so that's a good thing. I hope. Well, it is what it will be, because, people pop back in your life. People pop in your life and never come back in your life. Some people are just for a brief moment in your life, and you never, it's like, so like, that's how I'm dealing with the fact that, like I mentioned the other day, a few people coming back in and then all of a sudden just like that. I'm learning over the past few days that God's really seasoning me right now, so those type of things are bound, like, even though that's still current, I'm dealing with that, and it's like I'm able to just let that stuff starting to just bounce away. Like, I can't be consumed with who may or may not have an issue or want to talk to me anymore. What I got to be focused on is this, making this right now, this moment. Anything else is irrelevant, because this is the only moment I have. I could turn this camera off and not ever get to upload the video because something happens. We don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. That's what people forget, So memories, think about it. Like, I did get to go to my mom's grave about 5 years ago, I guess. Betty, my neighbor, had a vehicle at the time, and on one Sunday I still had some money on the card after payday, about $40, and I was like, hey, will you take me to my mom's grave this morning? I got enough for gas and stuff. And we went. It's like an hour, about a little over an hour drive to get to where Mom's grave is. That's where my sister lives too, but going to a grave is not where the person is anyway, so it really isn't. It's kind of, I've learned, I was glad I went, but it was like, there's really no point. Like, if I'm ever over that way again, I'll stop by, but it's not something that has to be done, because Mom is with me every day. Sometimes I feel her a lot stronger than other times, but, she's always around. It's just like anybody that's ever passed on in your, whether even ancestors and stuff that you never even knew, or they're in the ether, man. They're there. And I'll end it at that. I'm not here trying to be no preacher. I'm not here trying to tell anybody, because there ain't nothing I can put in words to make anybody believe anything anyway. You either got to know it or you don't know it. You have to experience it. That's where I come from. I had to experience these things and know these things for myself to be totally true until otherwise proven different. So I think that wraps it up. Until next time, this is Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto.